Maybe.
Hey, everybody, welcome. Well, I'll edit that little part out. It's fine. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. This is another episode of the Rise Up Market Watch. I have a jingle to play, but for whatever reason, I can't connect my soundboard box to my computer now, even though it's connected because it's working, and I can't get sounds. So, Keith, when you are watching this,
I need to see all that. I want to see the setup. I want to understand the setup.
I know,
I'm very curious by it.
Guys, is there an echo? Can you let me know? Evan says, Doug, mute your TikTok, except last time
I did mute. I just did mute it. I did mute it.
Okay, can you guys hear Doug now?
Can you hear me?
Doug echo better, sad about song. So you can hear Doug. I just need confirmation. Yes, weird. Okay, I didn't change a single thing about this box, and now we're getting sound from the stream to TikTok. Whatever. I'm just happy it works. Okay.
All right.
Interesting. Now, good evening, everybody. It's an episode of The Market Watch. Hope you all are doing great. Hope you all are enjoying Bitcoin going up, altcoins going up. It's been a little selling a little bit today, but hopefully you were buying about a week and a half ago, and we were saying, hey, looks like it's time for alts. So excited to get Doug here again, as always. Go through a few charts and take a look at a few things that everyone else kind of has top of mind as well in this market, because this market's weird. This market's very weird. But Doug, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How was your weekend?
It was nice, except what did I do? Let's see. 2 weekends ago was 4th of July. I was at Martha's Vineyard. Okay, check. This past weekend was supposed to have book club, and my friends canceled because every book club in the summer is destined to be canceled because everyone forgets about book club. They go and book their own vacations. So my girlfriend and I got a very nice dinner at a Greek restaurant that we haven't been to, a very high-end Greek restaurant. It was delicious. And then Saturday, I took my girlfriend out to get another nice dinner, had a good steak dinner, and went to a few different bars, and saw a few friends. And Sunday, we just chilled and worked. Actually, we didn't chill. We worked out, and then we walked like 3 or 4 miles throughout the city doing we were trying to find, my girlfriend is a little bit of a Boston influencer, particularly in the food scene, and we were trying to find the best matcha in the city, and we found it.
I have so many questions, but we'll save them for a different day.
I mean, you can ask right now. Shit, let's go for it. Now's the time, baby.
I'm intrigued by, we said the book club first. Like, how big is a book club? Where do we go?
We have, and it's really, my girlfriend has. I am from a time to time enjoyer of the book club because I don't like being told what books to read, but this one was the latest book, the prequel in the Hunger Games, and I was like, that seems like a nice, light, easy summer read. And in that one, if you have everybody, you got like 15, 17 people.
Interesting. Do you go, actually, we're good. And the foodie part of the equation too. So do you go out to eat a lot, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I have an app where I track like all the places that I eat to try to keep it all straight.
We talking like two times out of a week, 3?
Probably
more?
2 times out of the week, but I'm on like a pretty strict diet right now, at least like macro wise. So when I'm not on that, I'm just bulking. Like I might like Uber eat some stuff because there's this place in East Boston. My mouth's watering. My mouth's actually watering. It's called Puebla Vieja, and it has the greatest steak fajita you could ever have. It's marinated in just like the sweat of the gods. And they also have the best birria tacos in Boston. Everyone will say it's Taqueria Jalisco that has the best birria tacos. Their birria tacos are fine. These tacos were put on a plate by Zeus and punched into your mouth by Hercules. And it's amazing and fantastic. But yeah, we go out and eat a lot. I think last year I ate at like 300 different restaurants.
300.
Yeah, I got an achievement in my app, but actually, I think I ate at over 200 different restaurants, and like the other 100 was me just like backfilling other restaurants that I like knew, and I was like, oh yeah, I know that restaurant, I know this one, I know this one, I know this one.
So now my question for you months ago about New England clam chowder, it makes more sense now. It makes more sense.
What was the question about clam chowder?
I think it was that are you very specific about?
Oh yes,
yes. And if
you like New York clam chowder, you go straight to hell. How was your weekend, dude?
It was good. I've been doing a really, really good job about like not being like here. This I'm doing good summer, which means I'm very disconnected from markets. Oh, sorry, take that back. It's very quick for me to kind of get a glimpse of where things are going, but I'm not nearly as connected to the matrix as I was, let's say, 3 weeks ago. It's good. It's good. So,
well, summer mood,
yeah.
I mean, volume drops in the summertime all the time. That's why it's typically sell in May and go away, but not this time.
Yep. Now, Bitcoin all-time highs right now in the middle of the summer when things are sweet.
That's weird.
Could have timed a little different, but like, hey, you know what? No complaints.
For those of you who don't know, Bitcoin is supposed to be super crappy in July. Supposed to be super shitty in July. Oh no, June. Wait. Yeah, it's supposed to be super shitty in June. And then it's supposed to have a little bit of a bounce in July because it cratered so badly. Then it has a horrific August. And then it does well in September and October. Typically, no. September. Isn't September the worst month historically?
I also stopped. Yeah. So
and then September's the worst historically. And then you have your October come in and your November and your December and then it sells again. That's what's supposed to happen historically. Supposed to happen.
It's also hard too, based on us doing this only once a week, to remember where we were when things happen. Because like Bitcoin all-time high was what, on Friday? No, Sunday. Sorry, yesterday. Yesterday, right? It was the first move was on Friday.
Well, we hit all-time highs technically back on the 10th. It hit an all-time high if you were...
Right. Yes.
Actually, no. If you measure Bitcoin on the dollar, it hit it on the 9th.
Okay. Yeah, time with me is just...
However... Yeah. But it's weird.
Lost train of thought there.
Anyway,
again, distracted by the TikTok.
I know you said you're disconnected.
Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell you right now like where my...
I'm gonna disconnect. Here's what I want to do for the TikTok. I'm gonna disconnect from the soundboard. You unmute your microphone and the latency should catch up. Disconnecting.
For everyone, not TikTok. We're doing a test here. We're good now? We good?
We're good now.
Hello.
Yeah, they can totally hear you. I just got to mute this.
Cool. We're good. We're back.
Anyway, we got a question here by William Goodbody, which I thought was Good Boy, which would have been a great name, but also Goodbody. Do you think after the bull run, Bitcoin ever gets back to the 75K range? Here's my thought on that. I'm going to take this in a different direction. I think we are in about an 8-year-long bull run for Bitcoin. You'll have 30%. I think you have 30, maybe a 40% correction thrown in every now and again, but then it will pick up super, super quickly. I think just pull up the gold ETF chart. Just pick up gold. Just pull up the gold chart.
I love the gold chart. I'll pull the gold
I know,
chart
right?
up.
And go back to when was the first year? What was it? 2007? 2006 when the gold ETF first went live? Let me verify that. First year of gold ETF. That was 2003. March of 2003. No, wait, and not in Australia. No one cares about that. Sorry, guys. Not in financial markets. Australia is a lovely place I've never been. 2004. That's right. It was 2004. Go back to 2004, and it's just up. It's just up for 8 years. And I bet you have the same thing happen to Bitcoin for less because things move faster now because technology's faster. I bet it's like I bet you got 3 year. I bet you got 3 years. I bet you have a 3-year, 4-year bull run.
I'm sorry, what was that? 2001?
2004.
For a market here. All right, so here we go.
March of 2004. And I'll show you guys here.
So have you had this, let's call it thesis for a while? I've never heard you.
I've been thinking about it since the ETF first went live, and now I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty fucking convinced. Now that we're seeing the ETFs over the past year hit historic levels of inflows, now that we're devaluing the dollar like crazy, bonds are fucking sliding off like a rock. I think you're just gonna have Bitcoin do exactly what gold did from 2004 all the way up to 2012. So, 8 years. You had an 8-year bull run for gold with big corrections along there. That's like a 25% correction, right? That's a big correction. That's a big correction. Massive correction afterwards, but that's the bear market. So, that's what I'm thinking. Because like, why wouldn't gold, which is a harder, why wouldn't Bitcoin, which is a harder asset than gold, with more demand out the gate than gold when it had an ETF, not do the exact same thing when you're in an economic scenario and environment where you're going to run to flights of safety? I know it's weird to say because we have been bred in this industry to think that the 4-year cycle is God. And
I don't like the 4-year cycle is dead to me in general.
Yeah, the 4-year cycle is dead. So like, why wouldn't it just do this? The ETFs are smashing records. Economic environment is like anti-dollar right now. I made a video. If you are holding cash, you are fucking hosed, particularly the dollar.
I didn't watch any videos. I've watched caught up. I just saw the first one you posted. I'm like, okay, there's a stance on that. Got it.
There's a stance. Yeah, if you're just holding cash in dollars and you're like, cash is king, guess what? You're gonna be a peasant. You're gonna be poor as fuck. And it's not your fault. It's because we don't educate people about any of this stuff. So nobody knows what to do when we say, hey, let's boost manufacturing. How do you do that? You weaken the dollar. Cool, that's great. Wait, I hold a dollar. Oh shit. There's nothing in economics is ever this is a win for everybody. There's always a loser because these are markets. There are always losers. You always have to ask yourself that question. For economics and politics, there's always a loser.
Dollar does look horrible.
Dollar looks god awful. Let me show the chart here.
Like I would be shocked if there's even just like pure, like, let's imagine this is the only scenario I see where, it could maybe get some type of recovery. Regardless, let's assume it's not the dollar. Like the chart we're looking at, this breakdown here is just horrible. And in general, momentum, strength, all just look weak. I mean, and this is a monthly chart. So I can't see the dollar getting recovery until next year. I mean, just at a glance here, without, there's obviously many macro factors that come into play, especially tomorrow, right? We have some economic data tomorrow, I believe.
Do we? Honestly, I was too busy to see what was coming up this week.
CPI is tomorrow, I think.
Oh yeah, we have CPI and PPI.
Yeah, that should be fun.
I don't think care. I mean, CPI shouldn't be affected too much yet, because like the tariffs haven't even, like the real tariffs haven't even really gone into effect. We've been sitting at the baseline 10% tariffs since March.
And I think when I just do a quick math in my head, this would be the first time we'd start. So from a macro data, yes, you're right, because you wouldn't see it really yet, because if you think about it, earnings season starting soon too, which is, I feel like, just ended.
Yeah.
I don't know how long earnings season is in general. It feels like it's like many weeks just because the fact I feel like it just ended.
For those of you who don't know, earnings time is when companies release their earnings and their profits and their losses and how well they did or are doing. Right.
It happens quarterly. And so assuming, again, looking from the world of my purview of like the B2B world, I know many certain industries, but for the most part, did their price increases, let's say June. So, a sales cycle of 30, 45 days, net 30 billing, net 45. You're talking like August or even July, when you start seeing actual revenues come in that would have had higher pricing. And then from an economic standpoint, even further, right? So to your point, Will, it probably shouldn't, the tariff component shouldn't be there purely from a price standpoint, but it's starting to be those, I think, starting to see some conflicting signals, we'll say, what I'm expecting from earnings versus what's in our economic prints.
What you say that you're going to see total opposites of earnings?
No, so we'll just see let's call it noise. Not necessarily opposites, but like conflicting data that's more frequent. And I think that's what's going to be more the sign of, okay, there's going to be a trend is changing, essentially. At least that's my thoughts for the moment.
Okay. Also, another thing too, and we'll have to talk about it on the morning show also, because I haven't looked into it at all, but someone was like, hey, it's crypto week. I was like, what?
What's crypto week?
On Washington, they're discussing crypto policies like throughout the whole week. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention to it at all. You and I both have 2 jobs. I think you have 3.
No, if you 2, 3, 2.5. Let's do 2.5.
Yeah, you got 2.5. Anyway, oh, God, I'm busy, guys. I can't catch everything. That's why it's great to have Alex and Evan in the morning. Be like, what's happening? Oh, damn, shit. Okay, cool. That's dope. So, but yeah, there's going to be a lot of news coming out of Washington about crypto policy this week. So keep your eyes open for that. Alex, just here to support my children. Thanks, Papa.
Thanks for taking the time. Like, just
Thanks,
I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
The 1 hour a week, it's like.
I will also add that while I think Bitcoin goes on like I won't say 8. Let's say like another like 4-year bull run. I'm just picking a number out. It's gonna be less than 8, something less than 8. Those altcoins might not make a new all-time high. I bet XRP does. I bet the ones that have shown momentum. I bet XRP does. I bet Solana does. I think Ethereum totally can. Hell, Algorand has had a lot of momentum. Hedera's had a lot of momentum. Like there are a lot of the ones that have very large communities that once a coin starts to pump, they all dive back in and it makes it go back upwards. And then some coins in super hot ecosystems, I think, make new all-time highs. I think Morpho is destined to make new all-time highs. I think, I think there are a bunch of coins out there that can, but like even more than before, you're going to have coins that don't do great. So with altcoins, guys, just like take profits along the way. Make sure you do that. And then take some of those profits and put them in Bitcoin. And you're going to have a lot of ETFs for altcoins start to get issued. And then you're going to see everyone be like, oh, yeah, now the same thing that happened for Bitcoin and Ethereum is going to happen for this altcoin. And then the altcoin ETF gets released and nobody buys it. And then it gets unlisted. That's going to happen for the first one. And it's going to be a shock to crypto people who aren't familiar with how the ETF market works, because that shit happens fairly frequently. Doug, do you have a thought on that?
No, so I'm still, it's just by this also, like I said, I've been really good about not being in front of the charts. And like, so when Bitcoin at all-time highs or when Friday things started happening, Saturday, I'm aware these things are happening, right? Notification off my phone for price alerts, blah, blah, blah. But I've yet to kind of digest how I feel about alts, and not like they're bullish, like in regard, like, yes, we're agree on that. But just like, it's almost, am I looking at October 2023 right now? Like, what am I looking at? So I'm trying to gauge perspective to feel for like, do I believe Soul's going to hit all-time highs in the next 3 months? I don't know. I haven't thought about it a lot yet. So it's all, so you throw in some of the things out. I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is a fun time. It looks like, I mean, I can't find anything right now, knock on wood, that gives me any reason to not be bullish, put it that way. With the exception of the upcoming, let's call it quarter from now, maybe a different story. Like when earnings starts happening, we get more of the data. But right now, I don't know. Don't see much reason to not be.
I mean, the thing that the big event, we've talked about this each episode now. The big thing that everybody is trying to price in are rate cuts. Jerome Powell has said, hey, we're still trying to do 2 rate cuts this year. We'll see what happens. And then we know that once Jerome Powell eventually resigns, which is next year, it's in the first half of next year.
Next week? I'm kidding.
No, next week? No, if you believe a fucking crypto Twitter, he was supposed to resign yesterday.
I saw that. I'm like, come on.
I saw this shit. I'm just like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, who the fuck keeps
not going anywhere?
He's not going anywhere, guys. But anyway, next week, please. From Robert Stegler. Next week, please. Yeah. I mean, hey, it would pump the shit out of Bitcoin, so that'd be fucking great.
So when I actually thought for a moment, so when because silver started going crazy again, silver is just beast. So silver summer has been the thing that someone like a cold-blooded chiller has been talking about. I've been following silver for years now. I'm surprised how much it's broken out. But when this bigger move happened the other day, I'm like, in my mind immediately, I'm like, power's on, or he's gotten pushed out, because it was just one of those things that's the first thing that pops in my mind of why a catalyst would like that happen. But no, this is generally just it's bullish. Copper also too, very big move on, what was this, Monday? Oh wow, this is
it's been interesting. I've been seeing a lot more like precious metal bull posting on crypto Twitter also, and I'm like, guys, where are the PFP pictures of goblins like filling their diapers? I'm like, we've grown up a lot. We've grown up a lot. This is good.
Yeah,
you guys grew up a lot in 4 years.
Yep. So like, I'm just trying to gauge. It's like, so going back to the original thought here is that there's so many things moving that for me, someone who's actively been following charts now for like 5 years, I was trying to calculate the math, by the way. I think I'm crossing over 8,000 hours. So I feel like I'm kind of to that 10,000 hour thing. I don't know if I'm proud of that or not, but regardless, trying to understand the relationships of these markets moving like with each other or not. And so it's super exciting for me because I'm observing things I haven't observed before. And most of the things too are new to everybody, right? With the crypto component. So interesting times. But that's why we're here. That's why we're here.
What else are you watching other than Fartcoin?
By the way, Fartcoin right after, I know you just put your camera down, but right after we spoke the other day, Fartcoin was low. And I put a tweet out where I'm like, hey, it needs to recover very quickly. It was down here. It's hard to say, I know here. It's down here, like right here is when we ended. I'm like, it needs to recover quickly, get back above $110 for alts to not like take a breather. And it did that. And this was the bigger move. So I'm still, well, on my stool here saying that in the bathroom that Fartcoin is a proxy for alts. Like it just has been. Now, right now, I could argue there is a somewhat bearish divergence forming on these higher time frames. And I will say, this is one of the things too I've learned over time in an uptrending market, which we are now, especially for alts. If you're sidelined, cool. Like there will be pullbacks. Do not FOMO right now. At any point during when it is, let's call it an alt season and markets are moving, you can expect to see a 15 to 25% pullback. No problem. And not blink an eye on, hey, we're still going up. So just be cautious. It's the best time to start really looking for opportunities to enter in those markets because we're kind of in that more smooth momentum, almost like you're like in the ocean, like more waves, like swales, like they're kind of just like it's almost
Swales?
like predictable. So yeah, it's like swales.
You said swales.
So that's it. Swales.
Swales?
Swales. Tomatoes.
We've lost the show.
I think I don't get
Sidetracked by swales.
No. Grayscale, Greystone, all the same stuff.
Yeah, it's all the same thing. We're talking about, you losers.
But yeah, so I'm as of right to answer your question. Besides that, hype, I'm very interested in. These are more things just in general that I'm watching, not necessarily individual charts, but hype to me is one of the probably more interesting and solid narratives this bull run. Mm-hmm. I also like Sui. Besides the Soul, the go-tos, the ETH. DeFi's been interesting to me. Kind of started to peek at DeFi. Don't really have any favorites, but like I said, I think now that we just had the move last week and Bitcoin did
DeFi or DeSci?
It's the whole. See, these are when DeSci was a thing. What was that? 2024, maybe for like a hot minute, but right before. I think it was before.
CZ tweeted about it in 2023, and that's when it started.
I think it was right before the AI agents started. It was actually, you're right. It was even earlier than that.
Oh, it was way before AI agents. Yeah. So it was 2023 for sure when CZ, who, if you guys don't know, the former head of Binance, was like, I'm going to...
That's right.
I'm going to start working on DeSci. And everyone was like...
Yep.
Lost their minds.
So now, it's a great question. And I'm super excited to now get back to... I've been streaming also the last couple of weeks. Like I sick for a while and I'm like, it's summer and I'm like doing things. So now today, getting back in the swing of things, and the next week I want to start actually tracking those kind of macro narratives to say, hey, maybe DeSci start moving, but you should be able to. It's the best part about crypto is like things move in like pockets and silos. So as long as you start seeing one take off, it's like, all right, let's look at the next one that maybe.
Yeah, let's just get ready for the next one.
Yep.
Because like one pocket will be like, hey, I don't know. Decentralized lending platforms are blowing up right now.
Whatever.
Morpho and Moonwell and I don't know, Aave and things like popping off like that. And you're like, all right, cool. What were the other hot trends from a few months ago? Our AI agents, RWA. Let me take a look at some of those coins. What are some setups that I like? Here's two. Cool. I'll play these two. Take my positions, and then I just wait for the attention span of the crypto market to whittle away until the new shiny thing. And hopefully that's your shiny thing. And if not, be patient and wait. And then, that spotlight gets shown on you and you get to ride that up.
And then hope you're not staring at a negative bag for the next 4 years.
And
until the next
hope to God that you are not just sitting there waiting and you're running out of time before Bitcoin just starts to go, okay, time to take a break, because that's when the show ends. And if your bag didn't pop by then, well, then you're going to be holding the bag for a little bit.
I've
all been there.
My only one big bag from last time was Chainlink. I am a Link Marine just by not by choice, but I do like Chainlink a lot.
Yep.
It was right when Elon was SNL, 2021.
Welcome to the community.
Just like, $40 bucks plus. Yep. Yep. All right. That's it. Which, by the way, on that note, I do, once we get, let's call it a couple weeks from now, I do want to start thinking about top signals, not because just things to put in the back of your mind to look out for, because I don't have any right now. Where if you go back, say
Well,
last year,
let's
I
workshop a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's workshop some top signals. So what were your top signals before?
Any meme coin on the sphere in Vegas. So there was a conference.
Oh, well, that's what you meant. Okay.
Yeah, no, like that, like things like Elon being on SNL, like things that are very just crypto top signal esque. Now again, this is way out. That's why I don't think it's too early for the conversation, but I see it months down the road. But I want to be aware of these things. At least have a couple theories, couple scenarios. So if they pop up, it's like, okay, now start paying attention, because when euphoria starts kicking in, you don't think about these things. So I'm just always trying to have that parallel path, that plan if something does pop up. So, but that was last cycle, was on the sphere. And I think when Bonk did they did drones over it, that was the top of 2024 in April, maybe last year, if I remember correctly, before the summer, something like that. But yeah, those types of things. So I haven't thought about it since then.
I think the top signal, and Pepsi had a great comment here that I'm totally taking the inspiration from. It's whenever people start posting their Pengu tattoos on Twitter, and then I'll go, I think that's it. Because earlier today, Pengu is the most talked about cryptocurrency on all of social media right now.
It's crazy. It makes sense.
Yeah. I'm glad I bought some. I wish I had just taken my entire net worth and thrown it into it, but I'm not that much of a madman. I literally just took some gambling money, threw it in there. And also I just love the brand. I loved Pudgy Penguins. I have their trading cards right over here.
That's right. I remember you showing those, actually.
Yeah. I can show you my favorite. Oh, and no, it's buried underneath Pokemon cards.
By the way, while you're getting that, everyone, whoever talked, shit about NFTs, I have lots of worthless JPEGs from years and years ago, but my PFP on Twitter is the Solana Monkey business. I was eligible for an airdrop of Pengu because look at that.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Oh, no, you got him. Nice.
This is my favorite card. It's the card that I wanted. I didn't get an holographic. Honestly, I thought their holographic cards were kind of lame, but like,
hey, the fact that it's a physical media of a digital brand.
You know what? I can be and have my own opinions and be upset that the holographic cards aren't super shiny. They're not. They're just like the holographic cards are kind of meh. Oh no, I lost my camera quality. But the artwork on the cards are dope. And that's why I get
some. I'm a collector of things.
Dude, so the
NFT, I haven't bought an NFT in 4 years, but I'm saying there are benefits from NFTs and having things where I got a Pengu airdrop, and I gotta go find it because it's probably worth something now.
Hey, it's worth something now.
Yeah. But yeah, so top signals in general. I mean, it's just that. Oh, sorry, you were mentioning about Pengu.
Oh no, I said it's like when you start seeing people post like their
tattoos, that's right.
Like their Pudgy Penguin tattoos, I'm gonna be like, I should take some profits.
That's good. So we'll write that one down. We'll put on the list. We need a bunch, and we'll kind of check them off as they happen, and then, yeah. Anyway, so where do we want to go next?
Well, I have this comment here. Ethan McKeechern. Sorry if I didn't say your name right, but it says, "Do you guys think altcoins will rise soon?" They've been rising. They've been rising for the past week and a half or so. If your coin hasn't been rising, it's either just not its time just yet. Just doesn't have the highlight, doesn't have the limelight shown on it at the moment, or it's a loser. It's one of those two. So you need to evaluate your bags and try to decide which category those coins are in. Because altcoins have been doing great. XRP has been doing phenomenally. Say is up 6% right now.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's up 6% right now. I just got a notification on it. And you've had a bunch of coins. Pengu's been firing off at all cylinders.
What do you say? Yeah. I'd say NFTs too. I was an explorer of blockchains.
You had say NFT.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, look at this beautiful.
I was like, you and 13 people. What are you looking at here?
This is say.
Oh, you're looking at say.
Man.
Oh my god, it is gorgeous.
Wow.
What a woman.
I like charts so much. Said no one ever. Well,
satisfies the brain.
It's like that's actually what it is. Like it's just to me. Wow, this like even this like this would have been again if paying attention, like easiest long ever. Hey, you come down here from March, up, rejected, rejected, finally breakthrough. It's almost like if you think
Finally
about it
holds.
like this red area where things broke down, finally get out, retest of that right here's the long.
Yeah, retest, boom, long. There you go.
And that
there you
and this
go.
is and this is where like I'd say like that's for folks like who maybe are sidelined, like if you are unfortunately. There's these types of entries just come all the time. And that's what makes crypto so great, where it's like, hey, when it is a bull market, it's like I won't say fishing with dynamite, but it's like it's very smooth sailing. It's almost like you can slow things down, even like on a daily chart, a 4-hour chart, the opportunities just present themselves. And then it comes down to being able to have, discipline and not, be very emotional about price movement, which is very difficult, I know. But yeah, so I mean things look good.
That's
I
one
wanna
thing,
mention-
just like
What's
don't
up?
get so emotionally attached to your bags to think like only this coin. Like that doesn't matter what coin it is, honestly. Almost all of them, even the useful one, air quotes, are for the most part Ponzi schemes. So just look for the setup. Try to find the money and the momentum, ride the momentum, take a profit, roll off into the sunset.
Now I will say right now too, in general, 100% on that note, is that I think for just the move that we had, and it's Monday, Tuesday is always the day where it's always interesting. And as I'm looking right here above my, on my screen here above, I believe if I'm just projecting here where I think we may go, I think we may get a pullback this in the next couple of days, which would be the first interesting time to. And this is more on alts, let's say in general. Bitcoin, I don't know. I haven't looked at it that much. Maybe
Well, I mean, look at the
down to
daily close for
116.
Bitcoin.
What's up?
Look at the daily close for Bitcoin. It's screaming selling momentum in the short term.
Oh my
And
god!
there's
Yeah, so definitely
there's
a pullback here.
Yeah, and there's a gap down at 114, so you'll definitely have a pullback down to 114, 113 or so.
Which is good. I mean, it's also healthy. Like you want things to go up and down. We do not want things to go vertical, nonstop up only. That does not help our cause.
Is this the daily? Can you pull up the daily chart for a second?
I can absolutely pull up the daily.
So when I said, hey, look at Bitcoin, like it's clearly selling right here. Bitcoin on the daily time frame, I mean, look at that gigantic wick, like that huge amount of sun. The bulls went up and then just got smashed down, and that's a sign of some bearish momentum, at least in the short term.
Yep. And even if you get like a pullback into here, like great. I don't even think we get that, but that's
what did you draw that to? I mean, that's 114K. That would close the gap on the futures chart.
Oh, there you go.
And also, I pulled up the CoinGlass liquidity heat map also, and there's actually, let me do that.
How do you feel? I'm interested on your take on those, because while you're pulling it up, I started looking at them as I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here for a moment. The liquidity heat map, as Will is about to pull up, is a good gauge of actually, you can describe it as you're showing it. But my question to you once you get there is time frames, and how you look at time frames of a liquidity heat map and how you use it. I gotta flip my
I typically always go to the monthly. So Doug, if you could show it to the
folks
on TikTok. Thanks. Thank you, sir. My internet's struggling. Weird, I'm on Ethernet too. There we go. Okay, so I first like to look at the liquidity heat map on the monthly time frame, because this shows leveraged contracts that expire in a month. So it gives you like a little bit of time to work with. Now, if you don't know what we're looking at here, where the brightest parts of the screen are is where the most amount of leveraged positions, so longs and shorts, get liquidated. And market makers, the centralized exchanges, and the whales and the swales make the most amount of money when we hit those positions. And they're the ones who can drive the market because they have the most amount of money. They make the biggest splash when they enter and leave the pool. So you can use this to try to find the answer to the question, where in the market do market makers make the most money? And what direction does Bitcoin have to go in order to get there? Right now, it's down. You can see that there's a thick chunk of, in this case, longs that would get liquidated in a month's time if price were to fall to $116,000 and potentially $115,000. All of these longs would get liquidated. the money market maker, or sorry, the market makers would make the most amount of money. So they are incentivized to drive the market that way. And then once they go down here, we'll have more liquidation levels set up high and we'll see what happens. There's also a lot sitting down here at $106,000. Do we get that? I don't know. Maybe. There's a lot of money down there for the money market. I always want to say money market. The market makers go down there and drive the market, but we'll see. The leverage positions change. So I look at that for like a long-term incentive for the market. And then I try to take a look at the 1 week to see what could happen, going into Sunday. And
so obviously with these refreshing, sorry to interrupt you, with these refreshing, so would it be safe to say that on a weekly time frame, if price moved down to say the yellow level that's here, like what's that?
That's 110, 115.
Say it takes all that out, price moves down. This is more me trying to understand the graphical aspect of this.
Mm-hmm.
Does the monthly chart become less yellow then? Like it becomes dim? It's almost like I want to look at snapshots of the different time frames and then watch.
Well, what you'll see is you're looking here at the right of the screen to find leverage that currently exists in the market. If you want to see where leverage was, look to the left of the candle. You can see a lot.
So it doesn't change.
You can see, look, the market came up and it grabbed the liquidity right here. And then once it grabbed all of it, look, it just kind of chilled for a little bit. It waited to see where leverage was. Leverage opened up back up here. The market came up and grabbed that leverage. And then as price moved up higher, there really wasn't any new money for market makers to go up and grab. So they said, okay, time to drive the market down, scoop this up, and then they'll drive the market down and probably try to scoop all this up down to 115. And then once they grab all that, you're going to see some people open up some short positions and they might go, okay, cool, let's drive the market upwards and go get that. Things happen in the world based on where people can make the most amount of money. And the same thing is very much so true for markets, particularly crypto markets.
Got it. Thank you.
And then if you want to see what happens in the day, I mean, I don't think it's particularly useful, but it can be interesting, especially when like a lot of liquidity was already grabbed in the weekly and the monthly time frame. There's just not a lot of liquidity around you. So again, over the next 24 hours, we would say, hey, falling down to $118,553.26 seems very, very likely over the next 24 hours.
Makes
sense.
That's
how you would read it. Yeah.
Have you always been using these in general? Or are they
No.
kind of just like...
No. I started using it because there's a guy, he comments on a lot of my videos, and he's a great follower in the sense that he gives me shit and he also compliments me when I like do things well. And the things he gives me shit for, one of them was like, hey dude, you should really have the Bitcoin liquidity heat map on your charts. I think it'd be like really useful. And he'll be like a little mean about it, but it's like good feedback, so I'm cool with it. And I was like, yeah, dude, you're fucking right. I should be doing that. So I started using that as a tool in my tool belt like 2 or 3 months ago. It's interesting being a creator, you're open to feedback all the time. You get it whether you want to or not, so you better be open to it. And if you listen to the people, they can save you from mistakes. They can let you know about shit you weren't looking at before, and it's great. It's helped me be a much better trader and investor and teacher. So it's been cool.
See, I am also open to new things, but at the same time, like it's too much. So it's almost like I'm like, let's open a hedge fund and like, hey, you could be the heat map guy. Let me know about the heat map. Brief me on the heat map. I'll brief you on this.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about the Rise Up Morning Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Evan and Alex are focusing on different stuff. I'm focusing on different stuff. I don't have to worry about what they're worrying about because I know I'm going to get that information later. And same. Great.
So on that note, I was supposed to I've told the story before, but I don't know, not on the Market Watch, not here. It's just in general. So before 2020, before I was actively looking at charts, I was more a fundamental guy, right? So in general, I look at a market, stock, crypto doesn't matter. There's fundamentals and there's technicals. Charts, technicals, everything else fundamentals for the most part. And I'd always been fundamentals. Like I'm following the projects. I knew all the people who were talking about the projects. I could tell you about the tokenomics prior to 2020. But as things progressed, I got more into NFTs. I started looking at charts. It's almost like there's only so much mind share you could have to actually know shit. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, for the last 3 years, especially, it's just very much for me, it's just charts. Almost you can take the ticker away. I don't care what the ticker is. It's just the chart. But it's important to have other people around you who are smart, like folks on the Rise Up Morning Show and folks on TikTok, wherever you are, because it's almost like you can't do everything. So you want to almost like defer to the experts that are there And basically at that point, then you are very well rounded. You can't. I'm a person who wants to do everything, but I've realized a long time ago you can't. And so basically at that point, just having that balancing act and know who the experts are. So that's why you started hanging out with you guys was probably a year and a half ago. I'm like, oh, they know their shit, like things I don't know. And like I tell them all the time, I have no idea what the hell a token is, but go ask them. They know.
Yeah.
I'll figure the chart looks like, and that's how it should be, right? So it's we're there.
I've also become very comfortable just knowing, like, I'll get a question. I'm just like, Evan,
yeah,
Alex, not me. Like, I feel like there are even things that like I used to know that now I just rely on Alex and Evan for. And I'm just like, I don't know. What's a recovery phrase? Alex. But I think this is a good time, guys, to quickly mention that if you are struggling still with understanding the world of crypto, the world of trading, and trying to get on the Web3 crypto experience without trying to fall prey to scams and hacks and all that kind of stuff, maybe just new technology is confusing to you, go to the riseupmorningshow.com. There are free resources there to help, also resources that you can get for payment, like courses and things like that. There are a bunch of recordings of courses that are much cheaper than the live courses themselves. We do them in the future, but you can also join the Discord there. Also, the Discord's totally free. You can get a bunch of resources in there for free as well, the same as at the website, but also start building a network in the crypto space. There are venture capitalists in there. There are developers and coders in there. There are a bunch of traders and investors in there, people spanning the gambit from small business owners to people on the internet like myself. So hop on over if you're looking for more help and looking for more teachers. There are a bunch of people in there willing and looking to help who aren't even us. So go on, hop on in. There was also a topic I wanted to go into, Doug, real quick.
Pump.
Which was inspired by this comment here from way up there over on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. It says, I really thought Bonk would lead the charge. And that comment came in when we were talking about certain altcoins that were doing hot, like XRP and Algorand and Fartcoin leading the altcoins and things of that nature. I bet you see Bonk fire off like crazy. And the reason why it hasn't is because Solana hasn't fired off like crazy, because Bonk is a coin in the Solana ecosystem. So when you are trying to find the hot coins in crypto, you have to remember, you have to ask yourself the question, where is the money? Where is the money flowing? Is the money flowing to Solana right now? It certainly was 2023 through almost all of 2024. But the money and attention right now is flowing to Ethereum. So, and you also, if you have the Ethereum spot ETF turn on before a Solana spot ETF, and I know there's a Solana spot ETF, but it's not issued by anyone who really matters. It's not issued by BlackRock or Fidelity. There's very little liquidity. So it's a non-player in anyone's eyes. Sorry, it's just not. But if an Ethereum spot ETF gets turned on, money's going to dive into Ethereum, which means that the tokens on Ethereum's ecosystem are going to be buoyed by the tide that lifts all boats. Once you have the Solana spot ETF get issued by Fidelity or BlackRock or Grayskull, Gray Rock, Graystone, Gray, you know what I'm talking about, and Grayscale. Yeah, Graybeard. Then you'll have Solana jump up in value, and then coins like Bonk will go up like crazy because people think of Bonk as the meme coin for Solana, because it is. At least right now it is. Still is. And so that's the thing. When you want to try to find the hot altcoin, sorry, Doug, I'll pause real quick and then you're up. Find the hot altcoin, ask yourself, where is the money going? And then follow that money.
So I'm going to blame way up there for this one because I regret looking at this chart. So I had to pull up Bonk. By the way, too, the Bonk narrative is interesting right now with Pump. Pump today also launched a token, which is a whole different conversation. But this is a chart. I drew the squiggle on April 25th. Let's just watch. Let's just go to the videotape. The squiggle here. Oh man, Will. Oh my goodness. That's one lower than I thought, but so this, we usually want to draw this here with the line, the squiggle, and the circle. This is usually where the opportunity is to long. So eventually coming up. Now this retest broke down. So actually I can't. We're good. Actually, I'm not frustrated because this wasn't a miss, because in theory, if I was looking at this, would have longed there. So would have actually lost that and broke down here. But if I was paying attention, flipping this double, quadruple low 1.8, was an easy long. And Bonk to me looks like it looks very, wow. Bonk is a super nice chart.
Look at that higher low.
Yeah, Bonk is
see, double bottom,
kidding aside,
higher low, extreme confidence, come back down, retest one of these highs before. That's your buy zone right in that little box area.
Yep.
And then boom.
Yeah, just drew. Look at that. You just drew that. That was you. Look at that. See this?
I mean, that I almost followed my finger.
Yeah, no, this is a perfect example we were talking about earlier. So anyone who's sidelined and looking for, say, hey, I want to get in a bonk, just wait. Like this will be a pullback, and if it doesn't, then wait for the next one. Like it's just really about patience and timing, and like creating those areas of interest. So bonk right now like 23 to 20, but this could be 2 weeks from now.
It's so simple. It's so hard though.
Oh, of course. Oh yeah, I'm saying it like it's yeah.
Just do this. Meanwhile, I'm just white knuckling my chair with, tens of thousands of dollars trying to deploy.
Meanwhile, I made tens of thousands of mistakes between 2022 and 2023, learning how not to do that. And then this is what I wanted to mention before. And then once like October 2023 happened, it's almost like, oh, this is how markets should move. This is so I'm getting that sense now. And actually, too, I want to mention this one thing is that I have been following memes. Let's put memes aside of what memes are and what they're not, regardless of what you think about them. Meme markets are super attractive to me to watch, especially even early on, someone learning how to read charts, but also too, as a proxy for, hey, are things starting to heat up? And as of late, like observing just a general larger meme markets from the past, like your Mudangs of the world, some not like things that were 2023, 2024, they're moving, and then a lot of smaller ones too are starting to see bigger markets. So that type of movement are leading indicators. We're talking about top signals, leading indicators of let's say mind share of what we're looking for, participation. That's it, participation. So with participation of new folks wanting to be in the markets is a more broad sign. Now, the how long the endurance of that will live, TBD. But these are things that I'm watching now, especially going to this week with Bitcoin making that move on Friday. So alts should have their time soon, and let's not say alt season. Let's just observe. Things will present themselves. You can call whatever you want later. But as of right now, don't worry about getting distracted by the noise of someone calling alt season or not on Twitter. Just focus on the things that you want to focus on and have a plan. Oh, shorting.
Sorry, I was trying to remember the rules with inverted hammers. If you have an inverted hammer at the top of a cycle, because an inverted hammer at the bottom of a bear move
reversal
is bullish. Yeah, yes. It's a reversal. Yeah. I was just like, I couldn't remember the rule. I was looking at Bitcoin on the daily time frame again. I was like, wait a second, did I mess up the rule? Because that's an inverted hammer, but it's at the top. And I was like, yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, remembering all the candles is a lot. I mix them up sometimes.
So I never really got into the candles. I feel like I should. Like I for a while I was liking to seek out specific patterns. There's a site, I forget what it's called. There's only one site I know that does it, that essentially organizes patterns, and not your typical patterns, but you can get to like candle structures like that and basically able to filter through. It's a fantastic site. I haven't used it in a very long time, but yeah, a lot of things are, they don't always do the thing that they usually do, but for the most part they do. And that's why I enjoy looking at markets. It's almost like, well, why did something not happen, or why did something not happen when you expected to do this, and then try to figure it out. Anyway, it's a good time.
Good time. If Bitcoin could just have like 7 more green candles in a row, wouldn't that be great?
You said 8 years, so we got more.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, more is coming. I know, but I want it now. But hey, guys, how about you let us know in the comment section a few coins, or maybe even precious metals, or whatever you guys want to look at. Let me know what they are. Also got the question by IU Mumbo. Will, what is your TikTok? My old TikTok is coin_guide, but that is currently broken. And I did get word from TikTok today that it will be fixed in a few months. So, hey, my current TikTok is suits and satoshis. Suits_and_satoshis. So you can follow me there over on TikTok.
Suit.
I know I'm not wearing a suit right now. I didn't wear a suit today. I wonder if anyone called me out on it. I haven't looked at the comment section.
It's a Monday.
What are we looking at here?
like we're looking at HNT. Just the first thing I just saw pop in there. HNT, just peeking at this here. I like this bottom. I see a lot of alts look the same here. This looks nice. I mean,
all altcoins look the same
yeah,
on right now for the
and
most part.
that's also something to notice as well. If you look at higher time frames, like 3-day charts, weekly charts, daily charts, you can almost start putting markets like in pockets together. Like, hey, all these charts look the same. Now the reason that is, many theories. I always on the bank of, just for the most part, the same people of the same larger funds are essentially in the same markets at a certain time, right? So it's kind of more of a moving momentum of markets. But regardless of that or not, HNT itself, it's here. It's seeing some resistance right here at, let's say, 325. 325 is the most important level for you to remember. Once we get, let's say 330, make it easier, 330. Once HNT gets above up here, starts trading above that, then you start looking for 450 to $5. But for now, it's at resistance. So I'll be looking for a pullback into like, I don't know, 250, 275-ish. I'm looking for a higher low down here to move back up. But right now it's at resistance, not a time to FOMO. Nice looking chart. Yeah.
Yep. How about Ondo?
Yo, Ondo, was it Ondo for my condos? I haven't seen that yet.
Ondo for my condo.
Ondo for my condo, whatever it was, right? Something like that. Here's a long that got stopped out. It's a while back. Nope, it didn't.
I was about to say it didn't. I was like, it did not get stomped out. Man, if you need to have like an AI bot that just like automatically does the trades that you draw on charts.
Did I told you? Well, that's what I was building before I accidentally invented the meme coin. That was what I was doing. I was working with developers in Thailand to basically build a digital twin to do exactly what you said, and then the price in the can became the thing. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, so I'm gonna take this away. I don't want to look at this anymore. Let's delete that.
I don't want to look at this anymore.
Wow. So Ondo is one of the best looking charts, and like one of the, it was giving like Solana vibes, like in 2024 in general, like the market itself. Sui is probably closer to Solana, just the larger market time frame. But this is just a nice looking chart. Let's say, well, we're right at a.
Mm-hmm.
We're right. Same thing. It's just wherever. What week is this? May 5th. It's about a month. What's that? 6 weeks ago. Wherever, pick your alt. So go back 6 weeks and look at where that top was, that peak before it came back down. That's your level to flip. So everything that's under that level, regardless of what market you're looking at, for the most part, is your time to want to build a position. Because once it's above that, it's trading above it, you do not want to be chasing. You want to be in a position, and then your plan to start selling. So as of right now, Ondo looks fantastic. Probably, it's not like it's not absolutely as strong as I'd like it to see, but it looks great. I mean, so Ondo's going to be fine. And once Ondo flips this $1.05, then we send back to all-time highs. But as of right now, at resistance, looks like it's cooling off a little bit. Pull back into the 80s would be nice. If not, actually, you know what? This might just stay up here. This might just go sideways too. It's a good chart. Good looking chart.
Yeah, it looks like you're setting up either a higher low again, or you're just going to be in a consolidation phase before you get to start to pop upwards. Yeah,
this looks like so. Well, a lot of these bearish divergences. I bet you if I pull up RSI.
I also saw an ask for render. I'm curious to see, because I haven't looked at that chart in forever. We'll do that next after Ondo.
Yo, if render, there's a bearish divergence here, by the way, too. It's on the 12-hour chart. You can just see like it's there. Even though I always assume for the most part that bear divs don't play out, or divergences in general do not play out. This is definitely one to watch, because if that's the case, then this would pull back into, let's see here, the 80s. Like this would be 80 cents would be a sweet entry for Ondo.
And the reason why you drew that point is because you have all of this support right here.
Yep.
And here.
I don't know why this is red, but there you go. Yep, that's it.
Boom. There you go. Support.
Yeah, so Ondo's one of my top 10 picks for this just in general. It's one of those ones where it's like you shouldn't worry about it. Like, you shouldn't stare at the chart. It's one of those ones where you just get it, just like let it be. Let it be. Same with like a Sui for me. Your Solanas, but yeah.
Did you say a Stewie?
Look at pullbacks here. Excuse me?
Did you say Stewie?
Stewie.
Let's see. I haven't looked at render in so long. What do we got here? Oh, it looks the same as, yep, there's a double bottom with a higher low.
They're all the same thing.
They're all the same. All these charts are the same. All these altcoins are exactly the same. There's a higher low, no, sorry, a double bottom that concluded on April 7th, a higher low, just barely, that concluded on June 22nd at, where's the low? $2.60. And now it's working its way up to the 200 EMA and the 200 simple moving average. Let me show you guys on TikTok.
Wow.
See, here is your double bottom and then a higher low. It's finally able to get above the 12, the 21, and the 55 exponential moving average right here. And now it's going to go up. It's going to try to hold that pocket, which is at $3.61. If it can hold $3.61, it will then go up to the 200 simple moving average and the 200 exponential moving average at $4.39. If it can get above that, you have resistance here at 538 and then blast off. Also, we see that momentum it's kind of been iffy for a while, but it is bullish. You'd like to see this extended. The relative strength index, it could cool off a tiny bit, but it's nowhere near overbought territory. So, render just looks like it's doing let's see if I really zoom out here. Just kind of looks like it's doing a consolidation for a while until it can finally flip this in a serious way, unlike it did over here, and really start to crank upwards. So
I'm shocked right now by looking at render, because render was 2023, right? That was render, injective protocol, Solana. That's when things were moving. And since that was the AI initial boom, right? That was right when I think FET and what's the other one? AGIX or the
that's the merger. It was
Ocean. I don't know what the hell it was, right? Back then.
There was Ocean. There was Ocean. It's Ocean. God, Fetch and whatever. The third one.
AGIX, right? That was the one that basically became right.
AGIX is what it became post merger.
There was a third one. There was a fourth.
There was a third one. There was a third one.
Anyway, but that was the time. Yeah. So since then, since the render made
singularity. Thank you, Ryan.
It was disappointing to me. It's been so shitty. And then as of right now, I'm looking at it, I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, this right, and this was
look at what that's catching. Oh my God.
You could almost argue, I could argue this is a retest of the breakout that was October 2023. Like that's because right here, like I'm gonna put a rocket. We're on a big arrow here. Like this right here, like this spot right here. We're just retesting.
You basically just triple bottoms.
Yeah, like wow. So let's put it this way: if something like a render is trading above $5, where you were just saying, well, I think was where that the time frame you were looking at, like up here, I would, and we're way up there. I would call alt season on Twitter. I will go post that, which I despise anyone who does those types of posts. But if you get an AI resurgence here, I would be very, very bullish. Now it has to get above. It's still below that key $5 level, but
it's in a pretty good consolidation zone.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, if you like arrow, it's in consolidation zone. It's not in breakout zone. Don't expect that to happen tomorrow, but eventually consolidation periods end.
Oh my gosh, there's more squiggles, dude.
Oh my God, your arrow chart is crazy. All in a Day's artwork. Great name, by the way. But oh my God, your arrow chart.
I hate this. I need to stop. Oh gosh.
Now everyone on TikTok knows too.
The thing I was building, Will, was to take this picture. I want to take this picture. This was the idea for the app. I want to take this. I want to send that into a model, and I want to say, hey, if price is within X variance, like a standard deviation or whatever it may be, above or below for a certain period of time, trade it. And don't even tell me about it, and just trade that, and eventually until it breaks off a certain way. That's what I wanted to build. And so what I do, nothing. I put something in Pump.Fun, didn't sell, spend 18 months of my life still there, price on the can, doing that and not trading. Like this crazy, dude. Anyway, sorry. This chart's beautiful too. Arrow's great. Arrow's great.
Yeah. Arrow looks wonderful.
Arrow's fantastic. Like nice chart. Without a doubt.
Yeah, because what you're seeing here, if you don't see it yourself, is you see higher lows and you see higher highs. Just strength. Just strength going upwards.
Yeah, look at that.
And that is the uptrend that you want to see.
Oh my goodness. So this, I mean,
That's
ideally,
both
like
getting
this,
a little turned on right now.
right? Just keep going up. Like that'd be the nice move. Just continuation.
All you need is a listing on Binance.
They're on Binance?
No, they're not. I said all you need is the
How is
Binance.
a project like Arrow not on Binance?
Because it's weird. Coinbase and Binance have taken a real long break from listing a lot of coins, which has been interesting because you would have thought that with Trump being president that everyone would be like, cool, every altcoin, let's just go, let's go. We don't have to worry about the SEC. We don't have to worry about lawsuits. We're in the clear. And Binance has done only 2 vote to list campaigns. One was in February and the last one was in April. They did them pretty close to each other, and now they're just like kind of sitting on their laurels, waiting to list stuff. Like they haven't done Morpho yet. They haven't done Arrow. They've done a couple base tokens. They did virtuals.
That's so interesting because
and also Coinbase hasn't even listed virtual protocol, and it's their AI agent play on base. Like what's like Coinbase list virtual protocol already? Make it make sense.
The decisions by some of these exchanges doesn't make it. It's like once you like, oh, I understand how an exchange operates. Then it's like, no, I don't. You're just cooling off. You got something else going on behind the scenes. It's just, I don't know. They're all
either. Don't you want to make money? I guess it's just like their friends just haven't bought those positions yet. So
exactly. That's the reality.
That's the reality thing.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're getting kind of close to the end of the road here. We've been doing this for an hour. We'll take a few more sections. Oh, you know what, Pepsi? I never look at the total 3 chart. Doug, do you look at the total 3 chart?
I do because of one individual who comes into my streams in the morning. He comes on and name characters I can't remember off the top of my head, letter characters, but he always asks for total 3. That's it, and we always go through it. And I can tell you right now off the top of my head, 800 billion, 925 billion, and $1 trillion are the key levels you want to look at on total 3.
And Doug, what is total 3?
Total 3 is the entire crypto market minus Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is interesting because it's almost like you want to have the rebuild some of these because Ethereum now, Ethereum still number 2, right? But your other markets, they start becoming big enough where it's almost like, hey, is that the best gauge that you're using for altcoins? I still believe it's a good one. I like Fartcoin over Total 3, but hey, what are you going to do? But Total 3.
I like Fartcoin over Total 3.
Yeah. Fartcoin's definitely going to pull back here, by the way, in general. Looks like we're getting a pullback across the board. It's coming.
Yeah, it's a pullback across the board.
But yeah, just like, let's look for like a 3 to 5% pullback. But Total 3 had a nice bounce around 800 billion, which is kind of the support level that we did not want to lose. That would have basically lost all momentum of what we had, let's even earlier this year. And it's as of right now, it's like on top of my head from this morning, it's at resistance at 925. And so I wait for it to cool off, pull back into maybe the low 900s. But once it gets above $1 trillion market cap, the reason I'm using that level as like my level line in the sand is because back in March, I think it was right when they made the announcement of hey, these are the 5 tokens we're going to put in the crypto shitcoin pile. And then, oh yeah, we forgot Bitcoin and ETH. That tweet, that's where that big candle went up, and then it was a big sell the next day that was there, which was a Sunday. I remember that was like the biggest trap ever. Once we get back above that's to me is like where, hey, it's resume up only, because that's where things got weird. Where like we were doing weird types of things with the government. It's like, oh, we need that. There was no Bitcoin strategic reserve, and there's still even conversation around that. So that to me is an important level just on both ends, from the chart and also too in general where we were at that time. So I think pull back a little bit here and then the big move up to that point. But once we're above $1 trillion, game on. Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the 4-hour chart for Bitcoin right now. We're starting to get into very oversold territory on the stochastic RSI while getting close to the 21 EMA. So heading down to 116K just looks
yes.
Heading down to 116.
I think about it as
maybe even a dip down to 114. Just close the gap. Close the gap at 114K. let the market go down, grab that liquidity we were talking about in the Bitcoin liquidity heat map. On the daily time frame, what support is that?
While you're pulling it up, the one exercise I like to do in general, which you were talking about before with liquidations, is assume there's always two people on a trade. Like, assume you're the other guy. You're the other person, that you're the market maker, where you're like, hey, where would I want to move price that's going to basically take out, let's say take out, like, take out positions. Like, where would I want it to move down to that would create some noise? On the 4-hour chart that you were just referencing, Will, I know you're going to go, once you go back to that 116 level, to me is what would be the ideal spot here. I'm going to pull up your chart here.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I have to tell TikTok I'm not a robot real quick. Thanks, TikTok. Yeah, so this is the oh wait. This is the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin. The rainbow colors you see in the background is the Fibonacci trend-based extension tool that helps you find support and resistance levels when you're in price discovery, when you don't have previous price history to let you know where resistance is, because you're setting new all-time highs. So you can see we broke above that resistance at 121, but then came back down below it. Typically, that means you're going to go back down and test the next one at 116K. But remember, we showed that on CoinGlass, the market really makes a lot of money at 115 and even all the way down to 110. But 115 is the next immediate grab. Also, on the futures chart, we show that there's a gap at 114K. So the market wants to go there anyway. So we would see that be on the 4-hour chart, heading down to the 55 exponential moving average. At that time, if we pull up all of our indicators too, you can see that the 4-hour stochastic RSI is in oversold territory. And at that point, it'd be very oversold if we hit the 55. And then you'd really start to see a bounce back there. If we go look at the daily time frame as well, you can see that the 12-day exponential moving average, we're very far separated from it. We were super separated from it yesterday. And the market always tends to pull back to the 12-day EMA. And the 12-day EMA is, hey, guess what? Right at $115,000. Look at that. That'd be a great place to start to find support. Also, an additional line of support from the previous highs. Oh, actually, wait, this is a poorly drawn line. Gasp. I cannot have such things. Let me just tweak this a little bit. Oh, I locked it. What a fool I am. A fool of a took. Lord of the Rings reference, everybody. Yeah, and so that's what you're looking at on the daily time frame. A lot of support here from 114 to 113. It would allow the market makers to grab that liquidity. It would allow the gap on the futures chart to be filled, and then we potentially have more upsies to go, because momentum overall is still well above the zero and is still bullish. So we'll see, but we'll keep monitoring it as we go. Let me just see what the 8-hour looks like.
So I see just got here saying it might be time to short Bitcoin. So with the state that we're in right now, in my personal opinion, it's more of a time to look for, looking for entries. Almost like think about it as if for longs. Almost like think about it as if you're like, a sniper in a way. You're trying to like identify that area that you were looking for to get to, because with the short, it's almost like you're not saying it's not you could open a short, especially if it's more for like a hedge, but your mind's going to be focused on that trade and not for the time of like, hey, we're in an uptrending market. So it's much easier to trade with the trend than trade counter trend. So
the other thing,
looking for entry,
totally agree. Like the trend right now is very much so bullish. I mean, you can see this line of resistance here. Doug, do you mind just moving the camera over?
Yeah.
Left? Thank you, that. A little bit to the left, a little lefter, a little lefter, a little lefter, a little lefter. There it is. This resistance and support line from the previous tops that we had set in December and January would be a phenomenally strong place to find support, consolidate for a tiny bit, and then just absolutely send and go gangbusters, right? That's what you're looking for. So I wouldn't set a short right now, just because it's risky. I mean, if you feel super confident about it, if you see a really bearish setup on an altcoin, go for it, because you can actually make some money off of that if Bitcoin takes a breather here. But ultimately, the trend is your friend. The trend is bullish. Even if we take a breath here, there's so much support to catch us here between the exponential moving averages, this line that we just broke above. That would be a bullish confirmation of a breakout of this, which would send Bitcoin flying. So be careful with shorting right now.
And if you do absolutely have to short, absolutely low leverage, use less size than you normally would use, and you could always add to it. But yeah, I mean, it's just we're cooking here. Hold on,
Yeah.
flip this back.
Anything else you want to talk about before we ride our dogs
Yep.
and ponies and cats and cows and aquatic
by the way,
friends?
where was this cow mentioned? I didn't draw any cows. There was a mention of me drawing a cow. I can't draw cows. I draw dinosaurs and Loch Ness monsters.
Oh yeah,
and
no, we were talking like we got to draw some silly. We have to have a silly chart day.
Talking about cattle, like cattle chart itself, but I'm not drawing the cows. Anyway, the only thing else I wanted to talk about was Pump.Fun, which I know there's many thoughts on in general, but like I'm trying. So as of right now, so Pump.Fun launched the token today. And regardless what your thoughts are on that, of the amount of capital they've taken, I could argue Pump.Fun is the reason why the bull market didn't happen last year or last year, for the mass extraction of capital, but also too, it's attracting people to Solana. So there's pros and cons to it, mostly cons. But they launched a token today, and right now it's around a 5-6 billion market cap that's here. And the reason I wanted to bring it up is that everyone is expecting an airdrop. At least the ones who had participated in using Pump.Fun, who had lost all of their money for the last, I think the stat, by the way, it's some crazy number. It's almost like no one makes any money trading meme coins. That's basically what the data says, that they'd at least give some capital back to the community, and they've yet to announce what that is. And I think that's giving somewhat of a bearish sentiment overall on it, which is where, going back to the conversation around Bonk, that Bonk's ecosystem is becoming hot because Bonk is saying, hey, we're with their new pump, what's it called, the Bonk launch platform for new memes.
I didn't even know they had one.
Oh no, yeah, it's I think actually doing more volume right now, don't quote me on that, than Pump. And a lot of the larger Solana, not influencers, I would say the ones who are in the ecosystem building, are actively shilling it, and not only shilling tokens, but trying to demonstrate the differences of the platform. So it's a very interesting time because Pump has the market. Pump has had the market for a while. There have been other competitors. Still have other ones I'm kind of interested in, like GoFund memes is very interesting to me as well. But Bonk itself right now is trying to shine. But Pump with this this launch, it seems that they're not doing it properly. So I'm trying to gauge on when they're going to make some type of nod to the community. If not, it may be they're just calling, hey, we're out. One last, mass extraction for us.
One last hurrah, and then they sail their mega yachts.
Which they already have.
Their mega yachts.
Yes, yeah.
Into the sunset.
Yeah. So anyway, but that was the only other topic I want to talk about, but I just basically just talked about it to myself.
I mean, I'm glad I was able to help you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Of course. And speaking of being here, guys, we are here every Monday night, 8 p.m. to 9-ish to 10-ish. And also it's 8 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time every Monday night. We'll let you guys know on Twitter if that night ever has to change week by week. And I think actually next week we might be taking a break, actually.
I'm going to be traveling for work, but we TBD. Let's see. I think we'll chat. I don't know. I could do it.
Yeah.
I can make it happen. I think.
Well, we'll see. I think we might have I think Evan and Alex and I were talking about like having like an entire week off of the Rise Up morning show.
Oh,
too, because we have some other things that we got to work on. Also, like getting people from Discord to Circle. We still have to work on the Circle app. There's a bunch of other things we want to work on from like sponsorship standpoints. And a few other things. And it's either going to be next week we're going to take a full week-long break, or the week afterwards. So we'll figure that out. I'll talk with the guys. But either way, guys, we're here just about every Monday. And again, if you want additional resources to help you navigate this crazy, weird world of crypto and macroeconomics and all that kind of stuff, head on over to the riseupmorningshow.com. Also, the Rise Up Morning Show on Instagram. You have my TikTok at Susan Satoshis. You have Evan at Conversations with Evan, Alex at facelesslabs.alex, Doug at Tendrift, right? On TikTok?
trending. We're trending.
Man, it
was
Trendrift.
Trend
You're Trendrift, Freshy, you're Doug, you're Von.
Fresh is dead. Fresh is dead. We killed Fresh.
Fresh is dead.
It's Doug or Trendrift. That's it. Doug and TikTok. We got Trendrift and the let's call it the CT, the crypto Twitter of 2021 bull market. Discord
And
does.
the price is on the can.
Yes.
So someone put that comment there.
Yes. That's great.
Yeah, that's wonderful. But yeah, like guys, that's it. But yeah, head over to the Rise Up Morning Show. Discord is free to join. Hope to see you guys in there. Would love to be an additional resource for you to get through this crypto space. But that is the show. We will also be live tomorrow morning as a part of the traditional Rise Up Morning Show, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you guys there. Otherwise, have a good rest of your night. Hope your candles are green, but I think in the short term they'll be red. But then I think they're going to be green again. So, we'll see how it goes. Good luck, everybody. See y'all later. Bye for now.